Hey guys, have you all seen the latest pre-release clip of Heart Pairing Episode 7? The title of the video literally says, a 3-day contract relationship that might end in an unimaginable way. Let's just focus on that last part for a second, an unimaginable ending. Tell me that doesn't sound like a twist in the making. It seems even the producers are excited to premiere the new phase of the show. It's like spring is about to spring on Heart Pairing LOL. There are two couples I'm dying to watch unfold right now, JiWon Woojay and JaeYeon Jimin. This video will be based on the assumption that Woojay and JiWon were paired up for the contract date since we do not have the facts yet. In the clips, Woojay straight up admitted in his interview that he liked JiWon from the beginning, but didn't pursue her because she didn't seem interested, and he didn't want to come on too strong. That alone was sweet.
지원 씨한테 마음은 궁금한 사람이긴 하지만 나한테는 관심 없는 사람이었어서 그런 사람한테는 너무 적극적으로 다가가도 불편할 거란 생각을 이탈리아에서부터 하고 있었기 때문에 감정으로만 봤을 때는
잡아도 돼요?
한 번만 재현 씨가 컸던 것 같고
But when he talked about JaeYeon,
생각보다 재현 씨랑 또 깊은 대화까지는 제가 못 나눴었다고 생각했거든요. 깊게 많이 대화해서
오래 봐야 보면서 친해져야 되는.
내가 더 못 끌어냈을 수도 있어. 직업적인 거나 이런 것도 그러다 보니까 더더욱 뭔가 대화할 때 깊게 들어가기 좀 어려운 것도 있었던 것 같고
짬뽕.
계약 연애는 좀 더 또 다르잖아요. 재현 씨랑 해보면 좋겠다.
after watching that, I got more of a safe bet vibes than genuine spark from him. It just felt like that was why he shifted his attention to JaeYeon. If she were my sister, I'd gently tell her to think it through. Does she want someone who seems to be trying to force himself to fall in love with her, or someone whose feelings for her feel absolutely real? And that part where he couldn't talk to her about her work, ask questions, or show some type of interest in what she's passionate about made me feel a bit sad about their connection. She deserves someone who's all in like she is honestly. Although he did express his interested in knowing her more and would love to do the contact date with her. That's sweet and all, but I hope he will show it more in his actions. Woojay really is a great guy, the kind of person you genuinely want to build a life with. But I can't help wondering if his heart belongs elsewhere, and that's exactly why this upcoming contract date with JiWon feels so important. We need to see if his connection with her hits different compared to what he had with JaeYeon. Honestly, I'm bracing for a flurry of feelings. I've already been telling my heart, girl, get ready. Ha ha ha. I do respect that Woojay held back and gave others a fair shot with JiWon first. I think, now that she's had a chance to go on a date with all the men, it'll be easier for her to make a decisive choice about her feelings for Woojay during the 3-day relationship, especially if Woojay also decides to follow her head on. If JiWon actually gives it a real shot, that would be huge. That would be her choosing him without pressure. I'm rooting for that clarity. But we also know dating shows never give us smooth sailing anything, ha ha ha. And speaking of rough waters, did y'all catch that moment with Chonghwan in the pre-release clip, when JiWon tried to return his scarf to him? Usually, when closing a chapter or getting over someone on these shows, you'd return their items to them and move on, but this man literally refused to take it back. And I'm here like, wait, what the heck was that lol? He's an established pilot, financially secure, and clearly ready to settle down. JiWon too has said she's thinking about marriage in the next few years. So while I get that he's taking his time to think things through, if Chonghwan keeps hesitating, he might end up on the back foot. JiWon might need clarity sooner than he's ready to give. Then again, maybe it's not just about feelings. Maybe he's holding back because he's worried about how viewers might react if he keeps pursuing JiWon after the age reveal. Just saying, who knows, there might be more going on beneath the surface. He clearly says he wants to move on, but his actions in the newly released video clip say otherwise. And to make things even messier, what if Woojay, who had feelings for JiWon at first sight, actually falls in love with her? And what if JiWon falls for him too? Remember in the trailers when JiWon said, "It feels like we've earned the right to touch each other now." That's not just casual banter, guys. That line is loaded, ha ha ha. With that statement, the real question now is, will JiWon finally give Woojay a real shot? Will she hand back that scarf for good and close the book on Chonghwan? Chonghwan and JaeYeon's relationship too seems to be heating up. They were calling each other honey in those texts, lol. So, has he actually moved on from JiWon? Are we looking at a real shift here, or are we about to be dragged into a messy love triangle, lol? What are your thoughts about this? Let's talk in the comments. Now let's talk about Woojay, because yeah, he's been catching a lot of heat lately, especially after that unfortunately lukewarm date he had with JaeYeon. Besides their conversation in the car and restaurant, fans are now speculating that Woojay is saying he isn't focused on money right now, but just trying on building his art career, means that he's not even on the show to find love, just to promote himself. But honestly, I disagree with that. Woojay brings a refreshing, more laid-back perspective, something you don't often see on Korean dating shows. He once said he could sit on the kitchen floor when talking with JaeYeon and Chonghwan in the kitchen, laughing my ass off. He's not flashy, and that's part of his charm, even if it confuses some viewers. There are a lot of places in the world where people don't place such a heavy focus on money or wealth, at least not in the traditional way we sometimes see in Korean dating culture. And Woojay, he's definitely got a more Western mindset. Just because he's focused on building a life slowly, with career first, without focusing too much on finances, doesn't mean he's not ready to find a great partner. In fact, in a lot of cultures, couples grow together before the money comes, and that's a real thing, lol. So I just wish people would ease up on judging him for not fitting the typical mold. Woojay's not your average Korean guy. He's different. He's laid back, maybe even a little too mellow for a reality show, but that doesn't mean he isn't serious about love. Let's just call it like it is, lol. Now, that said, Woojay is also awkward. Like, he has this uncanny ability to say the wrong thing at the right time. Remember that scene in the car with JaeYeon? It could have been a sweet romantic moment, but instead, my guy brought up the most random topics, asking about neighborhoods and her dream car, lol. And when she mentioned her dream car, my guy immediately hit her with, yeah, I prefer cheaper cars, OML, like sir, why? Ha ha ha. At first, I thought he was just projecting, but now I'm starting to think it was more like self-sabotage. Like he was low-key trying to convince himself they weren't compatible. And now with the pre-release clip, we're finally getting a glimpse into Woojay's true thoughts, and it's pretty clear his interest in JiWon never completely faded. Like we've seen so many times on screen, his heart has always leaned toward her. But he moved on because JiWon didn't seem interested, and he naturally shifted his focus to JaeYeon, who was emotionally open and available. Plus, I still think that part of what fueled his growing feelings for JaeYeon was the unspoken rivalry with Jimin. He got caught up in that competition, and it seems like it later affected his zeal for pursuing JaeYeon. If that sounds confusing, let me explain. Remember when Woojay told Chanhyung that he wasn't sure where Jimin's heart was? Even Chanhyung admitted he didn't know who Jimin really liked. It's like they were both trying to decode Jimin, who's been playing it slow, waiting for the right moment to make his move. Chanhyung has reason to worry, he's got a crush on Hanol, who clearly likes Jimin. Meanwhile, Woojay was left wondering if Jimin was still in the picture for JaeYeon. And honestly, I think that uncertainty is what caused Woojay's spark for JaeYeon to dim a bit in episode 6. It kind of looks like Woojay's energy for JaeYeon gets stronger when Jimin shows interest. When Jimin backed off, Woojay seemed less engaged. Remember how their date kind of fell flat? But the second Jimin stepped up again, right after the belly growl incident no less, suddenly Woojay is putting in more effort. He even visited her room, took her blue book, and said he wanted to read it to understand her better. Like, wow. At this point, I really want to see how Woojay interacts with someone else, ideally JiWon. I'm just so curious what kind of energy he brings when he's not caught up in a rivalry. Anyway, That's enough of my Woojay talk for today. What do you guys think? Do you see it too, or do you have a different read on it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear your take on all this. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video.